By the age of 25, I was able to build a 6-figure investment portfolio from scratch whilst working full-time as a struggling junior doctor in the UK. And in today's video, I'm going to spill all the tea on how I was able to do that. So if you're interested in leveling up your finances, I want you to grab your pen, I want you to grab your paper, I want you to grab a drink, because we're going to get into it in today's video. So I'm going to take you guys back to the beginning. So for me, I was slapped with the reality that being a doctor, having a 9-to-5 job just isn't enough if you're trying to build a life of wealth, a life of luxury, if you want autonomy over your time. I read somewhere the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, and I was sitting there looking at myself like, well, if the average millionaire has 7, I need to get myself together and start building different streams of income. Otherwise, I will never achieve my dreams of being financially stable. And I saw my peers and I saw how stressed and anxious they were about money, and I made a decision to myself very early on in my career that I didn't want that to be me. And as someone who was building from nothing, it was really important to me to not run before I could walk, and I made it a priority to familiarize myself with the basics. What is an asset? What is a liability? What is net worth? What is inflation? All of these things that I hadn't been exposed to prior, I made it my duty to understand first. I then took it a step further and started reading finance books. And I'll link in the description a list of beginner-friendly finance books for you guys to read. But some of them that you probably heard of is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley, and check out the description box for the rest. But in reading those books, it gave me food for thought. When you ask someone what wealth means, every single person has a completely different definition. I mean, if I ask you what wealth is, it's probably going to be different to what I think. And in reading these books, I was able to outline for myself what wealth meant to me. And then I was able to identify through reading the different finance books what strategies would help me achieve my goal. If you have a vision, but you don't have clarity on how you're going to get there, you're less likely to achieve the goal. So I'm going to be honest, for me, I wanted to have 6 figures invested by the age of 25, and I've done that. And because I've done it, I'm going to share with you guys the 3 things that I implemented that helped me do it. So the first part, which was probably the key part, I had a budget. And I'm not going to sit here and say budgeting is sexy. Budgeting is not sexy. Yeah, full stop. However, it's a sacrifice. It's something that you need to do in the short term to allow you to get to your dream destination. And so when I was not going out to eat or not changing my car often, I reminded myself that this is a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. And that is so important. Delayed gratification is a key thing, a key principle that will come into play time and time again as you invest. When people talk about budgeting, it sounds super technical, but budgeting for me anyway is having an understanding of how much money is coming into my account, how much money is leaving my account every single month, and then with the money that I have left over, where exactly is it going? And I feel like when you don't budget, it's so easy to tap your card, because in your head you have unlimited funds. But then when you start to look and you're like, maybe I shouldn't have bought that, maybe I shouldn't have got that, maybe I shouldn't have done this, your money then begins to go the extra mile. By being super mindful of what I was spending my money on, I had a lot more every single month left over, which meant that I could invest more that month. And I'm also going to be super honest with you, I did take it to the extreme. Like, I cut my expenses down to the bare maximum. And in hindsight, I don't know if I would recommend that, because whilst you should think about the future, you should also balance it with enjoying your life in the now. But in doing that, I learned very quickly that it will get to a point where there's only so much you can strip back. The key focus should be on your income, which leads nicely to my second point. I began to prioritize ways of increasing my income. Hear me out. There's only so many cups of coffee and things you can cut out, but there is no limit to how much you can earn. If I put this in a practical sense, you could negotiate your salary and make an additional £1,000 a month. but only have the capacity to strip back your life by a further £200. There are so many things you can do to increase your income. You can monetize your passions and your skills by freelancing or teaching. You can upskill yourself and negotiate your salary, or apply for other roles in different firms. You can start a side hustle. You can build a passive income stream online by selling digital products. There are literally so many things you can do that are not dependent on your day job, and I started to focus on that. And in doing that, it also made me a lot more aware of the other interests and passions that I have inside me. And I think a lot of us, especially if you're watching this video, you can probably relate that you're a multifaceted individual, and sometimes one job doesn't bring that out, but by doing different things, you're able to utilize all the gifts and amazing stuff that's inside of you. And then the last thing that I did was literally I turned my savings into investments. I learned very quickly that if I left my money in a savings account, one, the interest rate from a savings account is rubbish. It's 2-3%. That's not going to move the needle very far. If we break that down simply, if I left £10,000 in a savings account and they were paying me 3%, well, 3% of 10,000 is £300, and £300 in a world that is super expensive isn't going to move the needle very much. So that was the first thing that I realized really quickly. And the second thing that I realized is that inflation literally erodes the value of money when you leave it. In other words, your buying power with that money is a lot less. Because leaving money in my savings account wasn't an option, I then started to execute the different investing strategies that I had learned from educating myself and using those methods to build my portfolio. Avoid lifestyle inflation. I kid you not, as you get older, like the need, I don't know if it's social media, I don't know if it's peer pressure, but sometimes you can very quickly end up in a lifestyle trap where you have a new car that you on paper can afford, but in reality you can't afford, or you're buying designer items. And I'm not saying that these things are bad, I'm just saying that there's a time and a place, and just because you have the money in the account does not necessarily mean that you can afford it. And always invest any additional money that you get. Building wealth isn't about being the smartest person in the room. No, honey. It's about being the person who is consistent, who is disciplined, and who has a strategy that they are willing to stick at over a long period of time and wins. You don't need to start with a lot of money. Anything that has been built started from a single entity. If anything, it's not about how much money you have, but it's about the mindsets, it's about the skills, it's about the insight that you have, because it's those things that you're applying to the money as opposed to the money itself. You see it all the time with lottery winners. You give them a ton of money and then in 2 years' time they're broke because they didn't have the financial literacy needed to cause that money to grow. So don't despise having a small amount of money. If anything, treat that amount of money as you would a bigger amount, and be a good steward. You want to be a good steward of a little amount so that you can grow a bigger amount. And the last thing that I would say, in addition to everything else I've said in this video, is don't feel bad if you are building from scratch. Don't feel bad if you didn't have a silver spoon. Don't feel bad if you are going through the process by yourself. A lot of us have done, and it's okay. And that is it from me. If you have gotten to the end of this video, you are a star and I appreciate you. Don't forget to check out the description box for all of the books and all of the amazing resources that I have placed inside there. And I'll also put some playlists to some investing and personal finance videos in case they are of interest to you and you also want to hear more of my voice. Otherwise, I will see you in my next video. Bye.